Welcome to Lyme Support Network podcast, hosted by Holistic Therapy Tribe. In each episode, we talk with someone from Lyme community like a doctor, warrior, coach, advocate, or an entrepreneur to hear their personal story and insights. Today, our focus is on a Lyme warrior. Our guest is Angie Garner.
Thank you for reaching out to me.
Yeah. So today we are joined by Angie, a Lyme warrior whose journey and neurological Lyme disease is truly inspiring. After years of misdiagnosis, she is here to share her story of resilience, healing, and advocacy, including how music, trauma, therapy, and spiritual healing have helped her along the way. Angie, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So, Angie, can you share what your symptoms were like before when you were diagnosed with Lyme disease?
Well, first I was bitten by a tick, a small tick, and I took it to my doctor, and my chiropractor told me to get checked out for Lyme. And I told my doctor, I said, here's the tick. And he said, well, Lyme disease doesn't exist in your state, in South Carolina, where I live. So the symptoms that I started having after that were fevers. I couldn't keep fevers down. Headaches. I got something called Lyme meningitis. I've had it repeatedly over and over again, and plaques on my brain now with Lyme dementia. I didn't have a bullseye rash. I had rashes on my feet. I had a lot of stomach trouble. I started having difficulty digesting meat, which I found out later was alpha-gal syndrome. Nerve pain, insomnia, anxiety, panic attacks, rapid heart rate. I think my heart was the first thing that we addressed on my journey to finding out that it was Lyme disease. So I didn't know if I was dying, what was going on. So that's what was happening.
So how did your life change when you first experienced the effects of neurological Lyme disease?
Well, I started losing jobs. I couldn't go into work anymore. My children were small when I first started having symptoms, so they grew up with their mom being sick all the time. I'm not going to say I lost anything because I've gained so much in my journey, but I lost careers. I'm a writer. I am a music advocate. I had a magazine for music therapy, all these things. But now I feel like I'm doing those still. I'm doing those things still. I'm sharing art, photography, music, my story pro bono. So, but yeah, the life changes are rough. And I still apologize to my kids, and they're like, Mom, it's okay. I'm sorry.
So what was it like finally sending to the Mayo Clinic for diagnosis? How did that experience shape your journey?
Mm-hmm. The Mayo Clinic, I was sent there 9 years after I was first started getting symptoms from the tick bite. The Mayo Clinic was terrifying. Honestly, I went in Jacksonville, Florida. Thankfully, I had a doctor who said he thought I had MS, and I'd had a lot of misdiagnoses before that. And so I spent a month at the Mayo Clinic having tests every single day. But it was so wonderful. The doctors there were so nice and kind, because I'd reached out to medical hospitals in my state, and they're like, we don't have time for you, things like this. Doctors wouldn't take me. They're like, you're too much trouble for us. To the Mayo Clinic, and they finally put me onto Ingenex, the company, and it got my accurate testing for Lyme disease, which was like, okay, fine, finally, I'm not crazy.
Mm-hmm. So can you explain how Lyme disease has affected your daily life and ability to function?
My daily life and ability to function, I'm not able to do the things I used to. Because of neurological Lyme disease, I have a kind of history of seizures and passing out and breaking things. I've fallen in my bathtub, broken my back. broken my head multiple times, just all kinds of scary things. And in 2020, I found myself suddenly single and living alone. So that was really terrifying. But
especially when you're having seizures.
right. And I'm on a seizure medication now, which is really helping, but I'm still like, got to be careful so I don't drive. I'm kind of isolated here, but in my cul-de-sac in my community, my neighbors are just like my family. They watch out for me and take care of me. But yeah, like I said, sitting down a lot, not able to socialize, not able to go out and listen to live music anymore because I never know how I'm going to feel ever. So, but I just we adapt to changes. So,
what were some of the biggest emotional challenges you faced while battling Lyme disease?
The emotional challenges, oh my gosh, depression, anxiety. I had what's called Lyme psychosis, where I was hearing and seeing things that weren't there and believing that people were out to get me. So while my kids were young, I did outpatient mental health for many, many, many months and got through that, thankfully. Feelings of worthlessness, like, gosh, what am I worth? I can't do this. I can't do that. Losing my value as a person and as a human being and someone who's valuable. Yeah,
moreover, losing the identity.
Absolutely. And then having to find out, okay, who am I really? And that's a quest too that I just love learning in the journey. It's like, wow, who am I? What can I do? Look at me now. I'm reaching out, hopefully helping others. Wow, keep on keeping on. Sorry. Had to throw that in. Laughter therapy.
So how did you cope with the physical limitations that Lyme imposed on you, especially in the early stages of your illness?
I lost the ability to walk. I was misdiagnosed as having ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, which was scary. I had to get a walker, a wheelchair, bars on my bathtub and my toilet because I can't get up myself. I had to really change my activities. I was always just a very active person, hiking and things like that. And now I just, listen to music and dance to get my exercise. And, that's it for that.
Okay. So what therapies or treatments you have tried over the years in your battle with the Lyme disease?
Okay, well, there's no treatment in my state, and I can't afford to go off and have treatment. But in 2021, I applied for a grant from Lyme Warriors, and I won a $500 grant for the Dr. Rawls herbal protocol, which worked for a while, but then I couldn't continue it because I couldn't afford. So I had to start looking into myself for more natural therapies and going back on things that have helped me in past situations, such as music, such as art, such as writing, getting feelings out, allowing myself to emote and get things out. So
you mentioned music therapy as key part of your healing process. How exactly has it helped you? And can you share specific examples?
Yes. Well, music therapy, ever since my family was very musical, my mother and my grandmother. And so I always liked music, but then I unfortunately ended up in foster care and group homes when I was 14. And then I found the band Led Zeppelin. And listening to them, I was like, wow, I'm able to get my anger out, my grief out, all kinds of things. And then my grandmother had Alzheimer's disease. And I was in school studying music therapy at the time. So I took in an Elvis Presley CD for her. And she was comatose, but she started bouncing her leg because, it's just amazing. So I use it for mental health a lot. I allow myself to grieve through songs or music, allow myself to have happiness, joy, anger, getting it out. There's so many different things, and music is so wonderful because just like, stones on a beach where waves are rolling over them, they are weathered and smooth, and that's what music does to the neural pathways in our brain because of neuroplasticity. And it's just amazing when you're affected by chronic illness. And I've had it happen so much. Like sometimes I'm feeling really bad and I try to be really positive, but I'll lay down and I'll just like, okay, I've got to get some emotion out. So I'll kind of look around I'll sample a couple of different songs until I find what really helps me. And it's helped me get out of bed. It's helped me have value. It's helped me to move. Um, it, I can't even, I can just go gaga about music therapy. That helps with mental and physical trauma, abuse, hardships in life, illness. So it's so wonderful. It helps me every day. Every day.
So have you explored any alternate or holistic therapies alongside traditional medicine? And
I
if so,
have, but they're
how did you impact that journey?
okay. The holistic therapy, I've looked into a lot of different things. I've tried different supplements. I've done my research and paid attention, and thanks to social media, now I'm finding so many others in the chronic illness community that I can say, hey, this is what's going on with me, or this is what's going on with them, and kind of go, okay, well, this worked for me. Like ice therapy, ice baths, so good for inflammation and Lyme disease. And I also have mold illness. And it's just inflammation nation. It's not fun. And so, ice therapies, herbal supplements, breathing, relaxing, smiling, laughing. Like I said, because of lack of finances, I just kind of had to look into myself and say, all right, how are we going to deal with this? How are we going to live and be happy and enjoy our lives, even though this sucks? This really sucks. And it's hard not to feel sorry for yourself. But, it's all part of the journey. I wanted to tell you one of my favorite quotes is, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. This is our human experience. And, we've got to learn it and love it for what it is. So that's my holistic approach, and it works for me. So
now, nowadays, how is the symptoms? Is it you have fully recovered, or is the symptoms still pursuing?
yes, because I am untreated. I still I have Lyme flares. They get me down a lot. Last week I actually fell out of bed and knocked myself out on the side of my dresser because I just couldn't move. Everything was paralyzed, and it's hard in times like that. I get sick, everything that comes around. I still have trouble with bad headaches and meningitis that comes and goes, and just a lot of different things. Lyme has affected a lot of my organs as well. It's affected my heart, which it did first. And so rapid heart rate, and then a couple of different heart diseases, which I'm on medication for. It's caused cysts. I don't know why Lyme does it. I have to look it up, but cysts on my pancreas and urological system. And it's just all, kind of been a mess. I've gone through cancer a couple of times and thankfully was taken care of with surgery because of my lowered immune system and, environmental toxins. I had to, I still have to do that. I have to make sure that I'm careful with chemicals and all sorts of things to not set myself off, and try to stay relaxed so that I don't stress myself out and end up in a flare where I'm in bed for 3 days and my whole body's swollen and I feel like I'm dying. So it's stress management too. But yeah, of course, I still have a lot of flares. I do. But, deal with it as they come.
How important are mental health and trauma therapy in treating Lyme disease?
Mental health and trauma therapy is, they say a lot of chronic illness, the reason why people are susceptible to it is because of trauma. And, you don't have to go through an abusive situation to have experienced trauma. You can see something or hear something that causes trauma. And being chronically ill and being gaslit by the medical community and told it's all in your head makes you feel like a crazy person. It really does. And so you have to get through that and say, all right, and mental health therapy, you can speak to a therapist or do an outpatient facility like I did. People that understand, do your research, make calls. Don't be afraid to do that. You may not be able to get up off the couch, but you can make some calls or get on the internet. And the mental affects the physical. When we stress out, we feel, oh, my back hurts or this is happening. And when you have Lyme, which also comes with degenerative disc disease, degenerative joint disease, just all kinds of crazy things. And you gotta, try to get a hold on things and learn to forgive things in your life, even if it's yourself for some things, and to incorporate self-love and say, you know what? I like myself. I actually kind of like myself. I think I'm funny, or, I think this. And so that it's important in so many ways. And there's so many different forms of therapy that you can go to. And there's even NAMI, the National Mental Health website, that helps as well. So I think it's very important, which is why I laugh, listen to music, put lipstick on. Even if I can't get around, I'm like, okay, I got to be happy. I have to do this. But I'm also, suffering. But you got to get through it. We got to practice resilience. We are resilient creatures. So thank you for asking.
So what role do you think spirituality plays in the healing from chronic Lyme disease?
Spirituality to me is, and it's like I said with the quote, we are not spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Spirituality for you, it could be God. It could be universe. What it has done for me is I've reconnected with nature, with the outside, which is why I take so many photographs and put them on my Facebook account for Earth Girl Photography, just to share, with others and have them say, oh, okay, look at this beautiful sky. There are still miracles. Spirituality means different things for many different people, but for me, it's realizing that we're all connected. We're all part of this big, many things with birds and trees and other people and all kinds of things. And so it's, I don't know, some people may call it soul, but I've learned, and as these chronic illness and traumas throughout my life have smoothed and tempered me into who I am now and who I really like myself. But that's what it means for me, and just connecting with music and nature and art and color and all of these wonderful things in life that I kind of didn't pay attention to before, but I do now. And I feel like I'm more spiritually I'm okay. I'm okay.
Wonderful. Can you mention any doctors or specialists who played a key role in your healing journey?
There have been just a few that have done a lot. The first was my chiropractor, Dr. Friday, who suggested that I might have Lyme and put me on that pathway. And the second, I did a Facebook group about circadian rhythm with a gentleman named Ryan Severson, who is a Lyme functional practitioner. And he did a free Facebook thing every day where we would ground with the earth and breathe and do exercises. And he taught us that movement is medicine. And so even when I was feeling bad, I was like trying to move just a little bit just to get the blood flowing. And he's been really impactful in my life. Absolutely. So, I mean, I've had a lot of doctors and I don't blame the doctors because, what they don't understand, they dismiss. And so I'm very grateful that, Lyme disease and like what you're doing here on this podcast, that we're getting the word out and saying, you know what, it's not all in your head. It's a real thing. So, I mean, I don't blame doctors, but I do have to advocate for myself. But those are the people that have affected me the most.
Those patients still, they have this everything on head. When they see this type of podcast, they understand, at least one person understands it. At least it is not me alone. So others also experience the same thing.
It's about connection and building community and saying you're not alone, because you're not. You are not alone. I'm here. And I've been through it too. And I still go through it. I'm here. So it's important.
What advice do you have for someone seeking the right doctor or specialist to help with the Lyme disease?
Mhm. Someone first research is my mantra. You have to do your own research and not get scared and say, oh God, I have this, I'm dying, but kind of match your symptoms to it. There are Lyme literate doctors. You can find them online, or that you might have one in your state. I think insurance covers some of them, which is good. But doctors, I think it's just also being patient with doctors when you do go to someone with your symptoms, to just say, all right, this is what's going on. This is how I feel. This is what I think it is. Can you do the simple test? Just with any doctor you go to, whether you go to urgent care, the ER, anything like that. But just and connect with the community. Find others who might be in your area who can suggest someone that's online or in person. I mean, especially like I said with the internet and social media, there's so much information out there now, and it wasn't there when I got Lyme 22 years ago, but I'm grateful for it now. So, and don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. It may feel like it's slipping away sometimes, but you got this. This is life. This is your life. So that's my advice.
How can patients maintain hope when the road to recovery seems uncertain or very long?
I don't have a magic formula for that, and I'm not going to pretend like I do. I don't. All I can do is speak for myself, and that's the things I've told you. Laughing. I talk to my cats all the time. I do little voices, and I don't mind being silly, and those things have helped me with hope. And having someone say, oh wow, that's a beautiful photograph you took, and feeling like, wow, I touched someone else in this life. And but I don't have a magic recipe. All I do is I post my silly videos on TikTok and Instagram, the Lyme diaries, just go from there. So, but there is hope. There is hope, even if you're not getting complete physical healing. Once you get into your spirit and get inside your mind, where everything runs the machine of your body, you can find ways to help yourself, and that brings hope too, and then brings pride in yourself, like, wow, I got through that. Right on. Yeah, let's go. So, but all hope is not lost. It's not. And also it's learning to accept death, that it's a part of life, and not fearing that. I think that has brought me a lot of hope as well. So, and it's a process. We all go through our own things. You gonna take a little drink of my water?
How did your experience with the Lyme community help you feel supported throughout your recovery?
Oh my gosh, it made me feel not alone. And I was like, okay, I'm not, like I said before, I have people tell you it's all in your head. Sorry, my cat came up here. It's all in your head. And the Lyme community and the mold community and just the chronic illness community, no matter what we're all going through, whether it be cancer survivors or people going through treatment or Lyme or, anything else like that community, it's really made me feel not alone. And it's also made me feel important too, because I've shared things with others that has actually helped them. And that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. It's important.
How has your mental state impacted your physical health during the Lyme disease journey?
Like I said before, my mental state, anxiety, OCD, all of that, I would wear my body out with those things. Depression, feelings of worthlessness would make me feel tired and sad, and I'd lose my appetite, and then I wasn't able to fuel my body. I wasn't able to take care of myself because I was just lost in this trap. Anxiety, feeling like, oh, am I dying? And that has also built gratitude for everything that, we've survived, and we're all warriors and everything that we've been through. And like I said, the stress on the body, and the mind and the body are just absolutely connected. And so yeah, it's been a big impact, and it's taken me 22 years, hopefully not so long for others, but to finally get to where I am now. where I can control it. But I also do take an antidepressant. I'm not going to say I don't take medication. I do, and it helps. But you know, that it's all related. It's all related. We all know that. We know it.
So, what are some of the mental health practices you adapted for the well-being, to maintain well-being?
Mental health practices, therapy, talk therapy, sometimes medication. I use art. I write. I think the important thing to do for mental health is you need to express your emotions. You need to get them out, not bottle them up, because that's not going to be any good for anyone. So, I mean, I've found so many things as therapy, photography, whatever you're into, whether you like doom scrolling and watching TikTok videos, if that's your therapy, just kind of looking into other people's lives or funny things, or watching musicians play and just seeing the wonders of the world and humankind and with animals. And there's so many things that we do. I mean, that's what I have done in my own personal life. And just talking like I'm doing with you right now. I talk to everyone. I tell everyone to watch out for ticks. I give them my Lyme story because I want to prevent anyone from getting this, but also, and people that think they might have Lyme or an early diagnosis, I want to make sure, look at me. I'm not a superhero. I'm not. I'm just a human being just like you. And I'm thriving. I may not have a job, but my job is reaching out to others and expressing myself. And that's my identity now. Thank you.
So, what song always lifts your spirits when you're feeling down?
We Are the Champions by Queen. We are the champions, my friend. Sorry for the singing. But every time I hear that, it just makes me think about everything I've survived and all my friends and others that we've been through. And you know what? We've made it. We're here. You did it. We are the champions. Yes. And also, the song Keep On Keeping On. Like my shirt says, let it keep on keeping on. That lifts my spirits too.
So, if you could describe your Lyme journey in one word, what would it be?
Resilience. Absolutely resilience. And like I said earlier, just like those stones that are, being beat up by the ocean. They're not eroded. They're not destroyed. They're just changed. We adapt. Look at even into nature. Look at everything, even with climate change and everything else. Look at how we all adapt for survival. And I can't think of anything else I could say about that other than what I just said. I'm forgetting a lot. I'm trying. I'm looking at my notes. I'm trying. But, cognitive therapy is good too. Puzzles, crosswords, word finds. That's good especially for neurological Lyme.
So, what's your go-to self-care routine on your hardest days?
On my hardest days, and these are days where I haven't slept. I went through a period a couple of weeks ago where I didn't sleep for 4 days straight. I don't know why. I think I was stressed out. And, number one, remembering that self-care is not selfish. If you need to rest, you need to do that. I get up, I have medications that I take, as I said, because of organ issues and brain issues and pain management, because I have a lot of pain as well, physical pain. And make sure I hydrate, listen to music, distract myself, talk to the cats, think about things, think deep thoughts, and just allow it to happen. But also try to move a little bit too, because movement is medicine, as my friend Ryan Severson says. The movement. But and just not getting yourself down and saying, you know what, today I'm doing my best, and my best is enough. Who's expecting more from me? If they are, then they don't need to be in my life. So, I mean, and, small thing, that's my go-to.
Yeah.
And I also put on lipstick and smile.
So, who has been your biggest inspiration during the healing journey?
My fellow warriors, my fellow chronic illness warriors. Every day, I mean, absolutely every day, seeing the things that people endure and they still keep a smile on their face, or even if they can't smile right then, they still have been through something tremendous. And we're not all going through the same things. There are different symptoms that affect, people with Lyme or mold or, any other kind of cancer, any other sorts of illnesses. And so it's just these other people that have inspired me. No one famous, no celebrities, just regular people going through hell and fighting their way out. So that's why I'm really appreciative for the chronic illness community I found on social media.
Okay.
Thank you.
What is one thing you wish more people understood about living with Lyme disease?
The isolation it causes. You lose friends. People don't like being around sick people. It's hard for us to make plans because we never know how we're going to feel. Lyme does not come with a handbook. Oh, this is how you're going to feel today. This is how you're going to feel later. You never know. And that, and to reach out to us and, a lot of us like myself, I can't get out of my home unless I have someone drive me. And I can't get out to go and do things and things like that. Isolation, also a lot of people will say, oh, well, my friend Greg or whatever had Lyme and he cured himself with, ashwagandha or yoga. And that's not going to work for everyone, so stop trying to fix people and just listen. And you'll get their needs. You'll understand and you'll learn something and you'll feel good about yourself through it too. Like, hey, I'm still making human connection with this person who really needs it. So that's some of the things.
So that brings us to the end of today's episode.
Okay.
Thank you,
Can I
Angie.
say something? A final thought?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me find it. Pardon me. Okay, I wrote down some final thoughts to give to others with chronic illness.
Yes.
Okay. Like stones in the tide, our brains are shaped by what touches them. Illness may wear at us like relentless waves. But therapy, like music or other things, sends gentler tides to us, polishing our neurons into new patterns. What was once only erosion, like I said, becomes resilience. Resilience, what a strong word. What was pain, as we define it, mental or physical, can change to become rhythm, memory, and strength. You've got this. Keep on keeping on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hi, Mom.
So, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Angie, for sharing your incredible story and for being such a source of inspiration to all who battling chronic Lyme disease. Your courage and insight truly mean a world to us. Thank you so much for tuning to today's episode with Angie. Her courage, wisdom, and insight are a true testament to the strength it takes to navigate Lyme disease. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs it. And don't forget to follow us for more real stories and Lyme from Lyme community. Until next time, stay strong, stay hopeful, and keep supporting one another. Thank you.
Right on. Thank you.